Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What's going on, everyone? So we need to talk about something that's been building for weeks now, and honestly, it's reached a point where ignoring it just isn't an option anymore. The offseason has been quiet on the surface, but underneath all of that silence, there's real movement happening, and the conversations being had right now could completely reshape what this team looks like when spring training starts. I've been digging into this for days, and what I'm hearing from people who actually know what's going on inside these front offices is that something significant might be coming sooner than anyone expects. Before we get into the details, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every bit of this, I need you to do me a favor if you're serious about staying ahead of every development. Hit that subscribe button right now because we're bringing you information you won't find anywhere else, and we're doing it faster than anyone. Give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate the work that goes into tracking down these sources and getting you real information instead of just recycled headlines. And turn on notifications because when news breaks, you want to be the first to know, not the last. Drop a comment at any point during this video with your thoughts because I want to know where you stand on what's about to unfold here. So here's where things stand right now, and why this matters so much more than just another rumor or another name being thrown around on social media. The front office knows exactly what went wrong last season, and they're not pretending otherwise. They felt that disappointment just like we did when the season ended earlier than it should have, and they understand that marginal upgrades aren't going to cut it. This isn't about adding a piece here or there and hoping everything clicks. This is about going out and getting a legitimate difference maker who changes the entire dynamic of the roster. The name that keeps coming up in serious conversations, and I'm talking about actual discussions between decision makers, not just speculation, is someone who, when healthy, ranks among the absolute elite talents in the entire sport. We're talking about a player who has the kind of ceiling that you can build a championship core around, someone who brings both offensive firepower and defensive ability at a premium position. In his best season, this guy launched 38 home runs, drove in over 80 runs, and played elite level defense while doing it. Just sit with that for a second and think about what that kind of production would mean inserted into the middle of an already dangerous lineup. Imagine the way opposing pitchers would have to approach every single at-bat, knowing they can't pitch around anyone because the next guy up is just as dangerous. Right now, the team has some serious weapons at the top of the order, but there's been this ongoing issue where late in games, especially in high-leverage playoff situations, managers can exploit certain matchups by bringing in specific relievers who neutralize big chunks of the lineup. Adding someone with right-handed power and the ability to do damage against both sides completely eliminates that strategy. Last season alone, this guy hit over 25 home runs just against right-handed pitching, which tells you he's not someone you can game plan around. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking because it's the first thing that comes to mind when this name gets mentioned, and that's the injury history. Last year was limited to just 100 games, and the batting average dipped significantly, which raised legitimate questions about whether the body can hold up over a full season. But here's what I'm hearing from people who've actually looked at the medical information and talked to people close to the situation. There's real belief that a change of scenery and playing in a genuinely competitive environment could be exactly what's needed to unlock the kind of consistency we saw a couple years ago. When you're playing for a team that's not competing and the atmosphere is flat and there's no real energy or urgency, it's a completely different grind mentally and physically. But when you're playing meaningful games in front of packed crowds every single night with everything on the line, that changes the way you approach preparation and the way your body responds. The front office has a track record of taking calculated risks on elite talent, and more often than not, those moves have paid off in a big way. With the core they have right now and the window being wide open, this is exactly the type of move that makes sense, even if there's some risk involved. Let's talk about what it would actually take to make something like this happen, because it's not as simple as just deciding you want the player and calling up the other team. To pull off a trade of this magnitude, you're looking at giving up significant prospect capital, and that means at least 2 top-tier guys from the farm system. The other team isn't going to just hand over a 27-year-old with superstar upside for nothing. They're going to want real value coming back, and that means parting with prospects who have legitimate potential. The names being discussed in these conversations include some of the organization's top young talent, guys who are close to the majors and have real buzz around them. That's a steep price to pay, and there's always risk when you're trading away future potential for present production. But here's the reality. Prospects are great until they're not. And for every prospect who turns into a star, there are 5 who never pan out at all. When you have a chance to get a proven commodity who's already shown he can produce at the highest level, you have to seriously weigh whether holding on to uncertainty is worth more than acquiring certainty. The financial side of this actually works out better than you'd think, which is part of what makes this move so realistic. The contract is extremely team-friendly with club options for the next couple years at $20 million per season, which in today's market is an absolute bargain for this kind of talent. That financial flexibility means the team can still address other areas of need like the bullpen or adding another reliable starting pitcher without blowing past any kind of budget threshold. Building a championship roster isn't just about having 1 or 2 superstars. It's about being deep and balanced everywhere, and this move would allow them to do both. Defensively, this would also represent a major upgrade because while the current option has been solid with the glove, the offensive production just hasn't been there, especially in big moments. You can't afford to have a lineup spot that's essentially an automatic out when you're facing elite pitching in October, and every at-bat matters. This player brings nearly the same defensive range while being a massive upgrade at the plate with a career slugging percentage that hovers around 500. That kind of production from a premium defensive position is exactly what separates good teams from championship teams. What really stands out to me about all of this is the sense of urgency that seems to be driving these conversations right now. This isn't a front office that's content to sit back and hope things fall into place on their own. They know the window is open and they know they have to capitalize on it while they can. Making a move like this isn't just about adding talent. It's about sending a message to the rest of the league that they're not here to just compete. They're here to win it all. It's about showing the fan base that the organization is willing to be aggressive and take big swings when the opportunity presents itself. The reality is that having this player locked in for the next few years alongside the other core pieces would give this team one of the most dangerous lineups in baseball. It's the kind of move that takes a team that's good enough to make the playoffs and turns them into a legitimate World Series favorite. And with the talent already in place, adding one more elite piece could be exactly what pushes them over the top. So here's where I stand after looking at this from every possible angle. Yes, there's risk involved, and yes, giving up top prospects is never easy, but when you have a chance to add a player of this caliber who's still young and under team control for multiple years, you have to pull the trigger. The worst thing you can do is play it safe and watch your window close while you were too afraid to make the move that could have made all the difference. But I want to hear from you because this is the kind of decision that gets debated endlessly and there's no one right answer. Would you be willing to part with top prospects to bring in this kind of talent? Or do you think the injury concerns and the cost are too much to justify making the move? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments because I'm genuinely curious where everyone stands on this. And if you want to stay plugged into every development as this situation unfolds, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because things are moving fast and you don't want to be left behind when news breaks. This offseason is far from over and the next few weeks could get really interesting really fast. I'll catch you in the next one.